questions. But super excited to have you all joining here. As I mentioned, First Year Abroad is CIEE's newest program. It gives students, recent graduates from high school, the ability to start college in one of our amazing 14 global locations. My name is Adam Chilliwatt. I'm one of the enrollment coordinators for the First Year Abroad and GAP team. So ideally, I would be one of the people that you would be working with. I'm joined by Ariel Levin, who's our enrollment coordinator for the West Coast. I'm enrollment coordinator for the East Coast. But who we are as a whole are CIEE. For CIEE, we've been around since the 1940s. Initially, when we started doing these programs, we actually started with a college study abroad program. So we've been working with college-aged individuals since the beginning of when we started, but we don't ship them out on boats anymore. We don't have to use boats. Luckily, we're in the age of newness where we can send students abroad on planes, and we've been operating our programs for more than 75 years, 76 to be exact. It's a quite great flex that we have. We're one of the oldest and I think most prestigious study abroad organizations around that's been providing students quality experiences, quality exchange programs, high school programs, GAP programs, summer programs, college programs, and now First Year Abroad programs. So a ton of experience working with college-aged individuals with seasoned staff at our international education centers that help provide us with the ability to be leaders in the industry and hopefully grow as we transition into this new program that is First Year Abroad. As you can see all here, 75 years, over 300 plus partnerships. We're growing steadily and excited to talk about this new program that we're launching, which is First Year Abroad. So if you're kind of wondering and you're here thinking, what is a First Year Abroad program? Candidly, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is the opportunity for a recent graduate to spend their first year of college abroad. And this program is being enrolling students directly through Dean College, located in Franklin, Massachusetts. It's our academic home and school record, where this First Year Abroad experience gives students the opportunity to earn 12 to 13 credits each semester while immersing themselves in a new culture, in a new environment, in a new country, really. A lot of students that may enroll in these programs have never traveled abroad. This gives students the opportunity to allow them to go abroad while also getting class credit to make sure that they're staying on track with their academics and being on time for graduation. So in this time lapse here, you're going to see where students fall within this realm. This is our age group of students that we're looking for First Year Abroad. It's not high school students, it's not late college students or college graduates, rather it's students that are enrolling in their first year of college. So these are recent high school graduates, typically students that have been out of high school for no more than a year and a half, students that are at least 18 years or older by the time the program starts. This is the sweet spot. This is exactly the type of students that we're looking for. So for these programs, like we mentioned, in 14 amazing different locations, this is kind of the world map of where your student can have the opportunity, or you as a student can have the opportunity to take your first year abroad. There's a lot of different locations. You'll see a bunch of different color codings here. On the top left, we kind of have a legend of what it is and who it's for, and then how long it goes. Typically, the best way to describe it is these programs are catered towards semester systems like US campuses, like US universities, where students can go for a 12-week semester or 2 6-week blocks. What this means is you spend half the time in one place and then half the time in the other. Some programs have the opportunity to do a full academic year, but this really depends on the type of program you're going on, as well as where you're going. As for some of these programs, as you can see, they don't have full year offerings because there are some visa conflicts there, and visa applications are not something that we're looking to have our students go through for these programs. We're looking to provide you with experiences that allow you to take a full program without the necessity of a visa. Makes it a lot easier on you and lets you focus on your experience rather than all the logistics getting there. But yeah, this is exactly where we're looking to go. And if you're like trying to take a mental picture of this, just know that this presentation is being recorded as well. And as well as all these resources on our website. So if you need anything to refer back to, you'll have our contact information at the end of this, and we can connect about what specific programs are available, where, and then how long you can be there at the specific time. And imagine starting college there. This is kind of just if you're a more visual person, this is a great way to break down multi-site programs. This is kind of what I was talking about with 2 6-week block programs. So essentially, these are a couple different examples of where you could start and then where you could go, or where you could go, where you could start. So ideally, if you want to start a program in London and then go all the way to Paris for the next 6 weeks of your program, this gives you the opportunity to travel to more places while still staying on track, getting the credits that you need to bring back to either stay at the college that you've been accepted through with CIEE's partner of academic school record, transfer into a different university, or do something else different. It's a pretty good opportunity to kind of explore different environments. If you're not looking to stay in one place for the entire 12 weeks, this gives you the opportunity to go to 2 different places. And kind of explaining on this slide, how does it work? What is kind of the deal? How does first year abroad factor in? And then what is the accreditation with it? Essentially, this is kind of just the one-stop shop for it. First year abroad essentially is a study abroad experience for college students. As I mentioned, we're looking for students that are in their first semester or academic year. What this means is for first year abroad, we're ideally looking for students that have no more than 1 semester of enrollment at a university. And first year abroad students, while you're on program, you're enrolled into introduction level arts, humanities, social sciences, STEM, business courses. Essentially, you're enrolling into courses that you would be taking anyways at your university in the United States. However, you're getting to take maybe art history in Rome, or maybe a fashion class or a language course in the actual country that you're studying it in. So maybe a French class in Paris, for example. This is a great opportunity to take the courses that you're learning and be able to apply it immediately in the environment around you and get a more rich experience and allow you to, be a more globally minded thinker at the end of this program. So essentially the way it works is through the academic school of record, Dean College in Franklin, Massachusetts, students are enrolled in an associate's degree at Dean College of General Studies. And this is a course that makes you a full-time degree seeking student, which means that you're taking actual courses that are accredited through Dean College. The biggest thing to note with all the courses that you're taking, they're going to be introduction level. So ideally, these are not major level courses. These are not 3rd year, 4th year courses. These are introduction courses, ideally classes that you're taking your freshman year or 1st year. The benefit, even wherever you're going in the world, whatever country you decide to study or do a first year abroad experience in, all your classes are taught in English. Having conversations with students, this is something that I think is really important to emphasize. You're not going to be taking history in Rome in Italian. You're going to be taking history in Rome in English. So all the classes are taught in English to give you the ability to mostly understand what's going on around you and set you up for success for this experience. And then once you're done, all the credits that you're taking, whether you stay for a semester or an academic year for some programs, are going to be transferable to a student's college of choice. So ideally, if you're looking to stay at Dean College, where you're officially accepted in and enrolled into as a student, as a degree-seeking student, you're eligible to stay there if you like. If Dean College isn't the right fit for you and you're looking for something a bit larger or maybe something a bit different, as Dean College is a private liberal arts college, then there's other options for you as well. If you're looking to transfer into a 2-year university or public private school or a 4-year university, these credits that you're building and getting on this program are transferable. Ideally, the way it transfers depends on the college or university that you enroll into afterwards. Obviously, with Dean College, it's through there, so it functions perfectly. But just know that the credits that you're taking are accredited courses and they are transferable to universities outside of Dean College. So don't feel like if you go on this program, you have to stay with the academic record of credit. You as a student are not bound to stay with this university. You're eligible to transfer out if you'd like. And essentially the last bullet is just saying that the way that we support our students, the way that we have is, the same that we support students on all of our other programs, on multi-site options. So we have best on-site support for our students. We have centers in each of these locations with site staff that are experienced and seasoned and are available there to support you during your experience on program, to provide you a successful environment, as well as a safe program and a fun program too. This is just a quick slide about some of the courses that you might be taking while you're abroad. These are sample courses. These are not set in stone exactly what you can expect for each individual location. As you can see, there's a lot of bullets here. So I typically focus on the bolded ones, the ones that are the more general education courses, things that you can expect to take at a first-year university in your first year there. So introduction courses, calculus courses, math, sciences, English courses, maybe business courses, economics, language courses. These are all courses that are going to be available to you at each of our locations, but the kind of the more nuanced ones may depend on location as well. But these are just some examples that hopefully will get you excited about the opportunities that you'd be having with these programs. In terms of what CIEE provides with a first-year abroad experience, there's a couple of different bullets here. The main ones that I like to point out are housing and meals are provided for these programs. The main things are for housing, there's a couple of different options, and then for meals, depending on the housing type that you have, whether it's in a homestay experience or a residence hall. It depends on the type that you're involved in. If you're doing a homestay experience, your meals are provided 2 times a day. Typically for residence halls, students have a kitchenette where they're able to cook their meals, but there is not a dining common per se like you'd expect at a university. But we give resources to our students on how to grocery shop, how to cook, the basics of, living life as an individual, as an independent student. Outside of it, it's a great way for students to get resources and help them grow up a bit, and also try new things and provide for themselves. That's kind of what this whole experience is about. So ideally, this program gets you on track and stays on track with you for a 2-year, 4-degree program. First year broad experience, the reason that CIEE kind of designed it is to allow students to stay on track with graduation. Throughout our experiences, students are really keen on wanting to get credit and wanting to stay on track and not wanting to get delayed by having a study abroad experience. This allows you to still get this experience abroad with having the security of taking credit back to wherever you're looking to enroll into afterwards. So ideally, if this sounds interesting to you, if it sounds like, what I'll give more details on kind of what's next afterwards, but kind of what happens after the program is a question that we typically get from a lot of our students. So you have a couple different options. As I mentioned earlier, you're not bound to Dean College in Franklin, Massachusetts. If you don't want to go to the university afterwards, you have the freedom to transfer to a college partner university or apply to your dream school. There's a couple different options, but really what it comes down to is you're welcome to stay, and you're also welcome to transfer. There's no penalty or anything like that in terms of, a slap on the hand of, oh, why didn't you stay? You're more than welcome to transfer to a university that you're preferring to go to afterwards. Just be aware that in terms of the credits that you're gaining, they're going to be most transferable to Dean College versus a university outside of it. But the possibility of them accepting every single credit is obviously still there because it's a college curriculum. So telling you more about what the programs are. In terms of price, that's obviously an important thing to make sure that it's realistic. Programs start at $17,000. This includes tuition, program, and enrollment fees. In terms of the overall program cost, it is actually quite comparable or sometimes even lesser than one semester at a U.S. campus institution. Considering what all is included within the program fees, it's kind of great that we get to provide students experiences at such an affordable rate to allow them to kind of stay on track with their program, but also not, force them into copious amounts of financial payments for these programs. And additionally, the second bullet, financial aid eligibility via Dean College. Technically, it's financial aid eligibility via the federal government as well. Because you're a full-time degree-seeking student at this program via Dean College, an academic school record, you are then eligible, because you're enrolled as a full-time college student, to apply for federal and financial aid. So that includes your FAFSA that you're probably hearing about, ideally by now, maybe by guidance counselors. Your FAFSA is free application for federal student aid. It's an opportunity from the federal government to put in your information to see what types of opportunities for financial aid you're eligible for. That can include subsidized loans, unsubsidized loans, state aid, federal aid, or the federal Pell Grants or things like that. So these are all things that are subsidized through the government that may be eligible for you to be applied towards this program. Additionally, if you have 529 plans that you're storing up to use for your college experience, this is, because it's a college program, also an eligible program to apply those for. Additionally, in terms of scholarships or discounts or things like that, we have a deadline coming up in a couple months on January 5th. This is our application deadline where if you apply early enough, it's called our early bird promotion, and you'll get $1,000 off your program. It's basically a reward for not procrastinating is the best way to put it. It sets you up for the most success because you have more time to prepare for the program. You also have more time to think about the program and what's most interesting to you. And then also you save $1,000. Pretty cool. In this program, this promotion can be combined with alumni programs, sibling programs, or referral discounts as well. So if you're on this program right now and you've done a CIEE program before, or you have a sibling that's done one of our programs before, this $1,000 off can actually be combined with the discounts that we're referring to below. So it's just layers and layers of opportunities that if you take them early enough can get you savings on this program as well. So in terms of what's the catch, what are the requirements? What do I need to know if I am interested in this program? Obviously, we got to create reasonings and eligibility requirements for these programs because they're catered towards college students. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, ideally you have to be 18 by the time the program starts. This is a must-have bullet point. You have to be 18 by the time that the program starts. We're unfortunately not able to make exceptions for this. The reason why is because we need to make sure that all students on these programs are not minors, so that way they can travel as they need throughout the program if they're going to multiple places. And students, they need to be 18 by the time the program starts to do that. You have to be a recent high school graduate. Recent in CIE's terms means no more than 18 months. So think of a year and a half post-graduation, and then you must not have completed more than one semester of college to be eligible for these programs. In terms of your GPA, we're going to look at your high school GPA, not your college GPA if you are applying for this program after doing a semester. So that means your GPA for high school must have been 2.7 or higher, and that's based on a 4.0 scale. In terms of credits and terms, I kind of mentioned this earlier regarding how long these programs last and then what credits they are. But like I mentioned, these are typically semester programs, 12-week programs, where you're going to take around 12 to 13 credits, which equals out to around 3 to 4 courses. Usually a college class runs around 3 credit hours on average per term. And then in terms of your options, there's 12-week options in 1 location, 12-week semester options in 2 locations. As I mentioned at the beginning, that's where you can split your program in 2, 1 6-week block and then another 6-week block. And then the academic year for select programs only, per the MAPS reference, some combinations aren't available. This is dependent on the Schengen zone. So essentially, if you're going to 2 European countries per se, then you're not going to be able to do an academic year program because then it requires the requirement for a visa application. And in terms of if you're trying to decide on when you want to go, if you're looking for a fall term or maybe a spring term, usually we'll see higher enrollments for this program. We're expecting higher enrollments to be in the fall versus the spring. It's kind of similar to a college start. The majority of students tend to start in the fall versus the spring. That's just the way it works. Historically, even with CIE's programs, we always see higher enrollments in the fall versus the spring. Students would rather start their experiences abroad for the most part rather than start mid-year. But for the college setting, the benefit of it is typically these are term-based courses. So whether you start in the fall versus the spring, you're starting at the beginning of the semester, which is great for these programs. So that's the overall overarching theme of first year abroad. This is CIE's newest program. As I mentioned, it's launching in fall 2024. Applications are open as we speak. So shameless plug, if you're looking and interested in learning more, the best way, honestly, to learn more about this program is to start an application for it. Our website is quite simple, actually. It's www.cie.org/FYA first year abroad. If you go to that website, it'll take you to all of our program offerings. You can go to each term that you're looking for, each program, start an application from there. I always tell my students, start an application because it's free. The only time you pay for an application is when you submit it. So if you're looking for more information, the best way is to start an application and then also attend something like this, where you can get a lot of information about what the program is. And as we mentioned, this program isn't starting until fall 2024. There's still a lot to be added to these programs, a lot of more information to be developed. And so we're super excited to have you all here, super excited that you all joined, listen in on this presentation. And so we're excited to launch this program and hopefully build connections with you all as we take the next steps in the application process. But from the end of it, that's all for me. I'm going to leave this slide up for a couple more seconds, and then I'm going to stop sharing the screen because I can't see you all, right? And I also can't see the chat until I stop sharing my screen, so that way I can focus on one thing at a time. But if you're looking to get in contact with us, our email address is fya@cie.org, and then our office number is listed there. Our address for CIE headquarters is listed here, but ideally, if you pull up here and walk in, you may not see us because CIE's team is typically remote. But if you need to mail anything there, that's a good address to do so if needed. But our main contacts are here. We'd love to schedule a time to chat with you guys deeper if you have to go for any reason. But after that, I'm going to go ahead and stop talking now. That way we can get hopefully some of your questions answered.